to it, but I don't have a cam shot for this one, so I had to go straight into this. So I'm afraid we're into it. Hello and welcome. You're watching my channel if you're there, and if you're hosting, welcome. I've got some new headphones. I know I look a bit like a Cyberman, but they're super comfortable and they don't press on my glasses, which is such a nice feeling, because with the other ones I always felt like I was sort of like being my glasses were pressed. It's saying that I've got something in my eye now. And now I'm going to have to take them off.
No, he's going to have to take the headset off to put his eye.
I am, because I can't put my glasses I can't put my glasses on when you go, well, see, when you get...
Hashtag pro streamer.
Yeah.
I was just about to say that.
when you get old and grey like me, then you'll have these problems, I tell you.
Does this hair look like it's going to go grey?
No, they'll probably
Is that a trick question?
It'll probably just all fall out or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm not making any comments about that at all. Okay, so anyway, welcome to this evening's adventures in Odes, the Odes campaign, which is in the world of Mithras, which is a D100 system that not a lot of people play, and apart from us, because we really love it. And it's set...
Trendsetters.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
We're pioneers. It's set in a fantasy setting, and it has a range of... there's no character classes as such. There are ranges of magic, and there's various weapons and armor that you can use. But generally, it's a lot more dangerous than games like Dungeons and Dragons. And it takes a lot more skill, I like to think, to play and to DM. I think there's a lot more skill in the game in general. So we're going to start off by letting the players introduce who they are and who they will be playing tonight. And as always, we go down that way to Chugawugga. Go for it, Chugawugga.
Hello, I'm Chugawugga. I'm going to be playing Gulliver, the red-haired, green-eyed, freckled-faced, rather scrawny-looking youth, somewhere in his late teens. Gulliver, yes. He started life off as an orphan, later became a street urchin, busker, and even a small-time fence. Most recently, however, after facing the prospect of imprisonment, he found himself acting as the houseboy and eventually apprentice to Master Healy, an aging scholar and practitioner of the magical arts.
Excellent. Oh, brilliant. Thank you very much. And underneath,
No, thank you.
Underneath him, we have the smooth, the skillful, the absolutely unique Big Beastie.
Wow. How can I top that?
Actually, the Big was wondering whether or not you were introducing someone else.
I
He wasn't prepared at all.
Maybe Raph or Longshanks or something.
No, it's you.
Me?
I am Big Beastie, and I don't know about all that, but I'm playing Briggs, the archer of the group. He's what do you call it? A traveling salesman, so to speak.
He's a nomad.
He's a nomad, yeah.
He's a nomad. That's what he is. Yeah. Looking quite dashing in his token, I must admit.
He's a handsome chap.
Yeah, handsome chap, giving a sideways glance to people. Yeah, excellent.
He looks a bit of a pretty boy, doesn't he? He looks like he needs to be in one of those
a bit like me.
Vampire movies, doesn't he? You know, sort of like...
Why? Why should he be?
I don't know.
Why did you mention a vampire? I don't get that. Anyway,
I don't know.
Anyway, we'll move swiftly over to Longshanks EPG.
Hi guys, I'm Longshanks EPG. Tonight I will be playing Hengist. He fulfills the tank role of the group. He is quite a, he uses sword and shield and will weigh you down and then kill you when you're not expecting it.
Excellent. And I also...
And he plaits his hair.
And he plaits his hair because he's got long flowing blonde hair, but he plaits it down and it's got
ribbons.
bands on it. Not ribbons, no, bands. He's quite tall, muscular. Wears for Wrath, because I don't know if Wrath's seen any of the previous ones. He wears sort of like iron armor, which is enamelled in green. He's got a massive crest of a white horse across his chest plate as well.
What is it on the front? A white what?
A white horse.
Oh, I thought it was a bull.
No, it's a horse.
I was looking at the
there goes the
icon.
adventure.
Yeah, I was looking at the icon, and I thought it was a bull.
No, you just can't draw.
It's a horse.
Yeah.
It's very crude. Well, not crudely done, but it's quite a blocky horse.
It's almost like in caveman drawing, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, that sort of style. Because it's the family crest, so it's been around for a while.
Yeah, I think I can actually make it get
Needs
bigger.
an update, I think.
I can make it. Oh no, lose clarity when I make it bigger. You must have sent me a really rubbish picture.
You rejected my first one. I sent you the one I wanted. Was you said no, you can't have that.
Yeah, I remember. And finally, above Longshanks EPG, we have Wrath Inspired.
What's up, everybody? I'm Wrath. I am playing Dominic Shea. Dominic Shea is a vulgar son of a whore maiden. Prefers running around absolutely shirtless, muscles bulging, tattoos flaring, and scars revealed. He loves slapping butts, tagging nuts, and pissing off wagons.
I only understood.
Very much like me in real life.
Do you know? This is the honest truth. I only understood about 2 words.
I'm not speaking a different language.
I got slapping
Was it
butts.
the butts and nuts?
What was the other bit?
Slapping butts, tagging nuts, and pissing off wagons.
What does tagging nuts mean? Can somebody?
Well,
hang on? Do I want to know?
You ever heard of a cup check?
No.
Man.
I honestly have. What?
He has had a sheltered life.
I could discuss.
Some people who play baseball, they wear this cup.
That's right. Baseball is like rounders, isn't it?
Yes, it's
Yeah,
well.
kinda.
I mean, it's
More
identical.
glamorous.
Yeah,
But
it's like
Rounders?
rounders. So rounders is a game that girls play in the UK. That they have a bat and a hard ball, and they throw the ball. You hit it, and you have to run round bases, and you shout round up,
but
round
instead
up,
of
round up.
females, instead of females, it's males, and males have to protect a certain part of their bodies, so they wear something called a cup. Well, a
Right.
cup check is smacking them in the nuts to see if they're wearing a cup, and so tagging nuts, you smack them in the nuts. Something,
He's got it.
something people do. I don't know that you guys never just walk around like just.
No, can I just say I've never.
I'm
Don't
not.
get punched in the face.
You guys don't do that? I thought that was just a normal thing that people do.
No,
No, I can safely say I have never done that in my life.
Imagine going to a party. Hi, how are you?
I tell you,
It's a normal thing. If you did that, you'd be like, "Oh, good one." Like,
Over here, you come out with either a black eye or a broken nose.
the only
It's
time,
debatable if you have any teeth left.
the only time,
This cup check is totally a thing.
no, do you know the only thing I've ever seen that done is in the first Crocodile Dundee film, or is it the second one? Have you seen it when
Yes.
there's a woman in drag, there's a man in drag,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and and he sort of like goes and grabs her or him. Yeah,
It's nuts.
cup check
It's
is
nuts.
totally a thing. It's like football players. Oh
Oh, he's American. That's
yeah,
not real football.
so not real football.
No, that's not
then.
football.
American football.
Yeah,
Yeah, slapping butts, tagging nuts, and pissing off wagons. That's my character. Why are you judging my character? This is
No, I just now I can safely say now I understand what you're saying.
Is it a really short adventure? So you're just trying to
Yeah.
judge this thing out, really? Is that what it is?
It
It's
is.
just sort of like, yeah, well, yeah,
It's
I've been at
almost
work, I
over,
haven't managed to do an adventure, so
I've
I'm
been-
just going to
I'm just-
discuss nuts with Wrath Inspired for
Well,
the first 20 minutes.
yeah, for real. The first half hour of content is me talking about touching people's balls. Like this is.
Yeah.
I
I can't wait for the second hour.
It was the word tag. I didn't understand the word tag, but now I've got some
Like,
understanding.
tag, you're it.
You
taking
write it down
pictures
and
tagging
Google it
on
afterwards.
Facebook.
Yeah, I've written it down on my notepad to investigate later.
Hey,
I have a
learning's
question.
occurring. I'm glad
I have a
could-
question though.
Is this-
What does the CF stand for behind you?
Behind me.
Behind that.
Huh?
Behind.
I have absolutely no idea, to be honest with you.
Behind Raph, there's a big C and an F on his wall.
College football.
Yeah!
College football.
It's totally what it means.
So, if you want to guess what CF means on Raf's thing, then by Raf is always touching people's balls, you'll get used to it.
I didn't read chat. I just hear, if you want to know what CF means, Wrath is always.
So if you have an idea what CF means, then by all means put it in chat. But up to that,
I'll tell you what it is at the end of the stream. I'll tell you what it is.
excellent. I can't wait to get to the end. Anyway, I'm going to mute them now. So you can only hear me. I can hear them in my ears, but you can only hear me now because. Okay. So, before we go any further, I would like to play the introduction to Mithras, which I actually had to change because I found out that I spelt Dominic wrong. So I have actually redone it and re-rendered it and uploaded it. So hopefully this will be the correct one. So just for you at home, thank you for the bit, Chugga thank you for sharing your bit and another bit. Anyway, for all you people at home, here is the introduction to RuneQuest, or Mithras. It wasn't that epic. Yes, I know I made a mess up of the sound quality there. But anyway, we're back in. Welcome. So let me give you a brief synopsis and quiz the players as we go along what happened in the last adventure. So first things first, we have to remember that Hengist departed in the first part of this adventure, then came back. So he will be joining at a suitable point. Anyway, the rest of the party was summoned up to the noble area in the town of this, or the city in Lindo, to meet a noble called Noble McDuff. And Noble McDuff hired them to assist his daughter, who had to go on a quest for a clerical quest in order to fulfill requirements for her deity and gods of the twin moons. Now, this involved heading out of town. Transport was provided, heading out of town and heading towards a disused graveyard. A graveyard that has subsequently been used for what, guys?
Burying the people that had the funny Black Death thing.
Correct, yeah. A plague.
Mass grave.
Yeah, mass grave, and I think it was a flesh-eating parasite, if you remember. Anyway, they headed out, and once they got within the graveyard, they within the walls of the graveyard, they were attacked by what appeared to be grave robbers, but what also appeared to be people who were they had lesions on them and cuts and grazes. Can somebody mute their mic, please? Because I can hear 30, thank you. And they had lesions on them and they seemed to be slowly rotting away. Anyway, the party quickly dealt with these, and then there was somewhat of an argument when they were decided to open the graveyard door, but they managed, Gulliver and Dominic managed to push it open together and actually get into the tomb below the graveyard. The quest is to retrieve a what, guys?
A thigh bone?
A thigh bone from the...
from one of the dead people.
Yeah, from the owner, the main person who is buried in the tomb. And remember that you are getting 300 silver pieces.
Which is a lot.
Yeah, for the correct... for completing the... adventure, and also you have some extra, don't you? You have the possibility of extra. You have 200 silver pieces if it's completed successfully, in addition to that. And can I just remind you, successfully will include keeping Ike and McDuff alive. So stop pushing her down a corridor with a 10-foot pole and hoping that she actually dies or anything like that. Okay, so you headed off down into the tomb, and you went down a series of staircases and into what appeared to be a corridor. And we left the adventure last week as Dominic stepped forward, and the pavement, the slab underneath his foot, depressed slightly, and there was a click. And that's where we left it last week. So I'm going to move you across, and you should be on the playing screen now. Yeah.
It's okay. I think it's going to be okay. I think like you press this plate and Angus is going to fall out from like a trapdoor above.
It'd be good if it.
Okay.
No, I don't think that'll happen.
So there, as expected, there was a click. There was a click on the floor, and we left it there. Now, just so I always like to give you all a chance, guys. Is there anything you would like to say or do, not within this combat or anything like that? Is there anything you need to ask me before we start the adventure?
How loud is the click?
Only loud enough for Dominic and Ika to hear at the present moment in time.
Right.
Okay.
Did Dominic get hit last? I know that he's got that. There was something happened with the grave robber.
Yeah,
I can't remember whether or not he got hit or whether or not
I
he
got
was
touched.
just too close. You touched.
Yeah, I got touched. But I don't believe I got hit.
Right.
No.
I didn't think you did, but I can remember you had a little brown mark on your character.
I think what it was that he did get touched or something went.
I think it was it a graze or something like that?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find my health. I've absolutely no idea where it is, but
It's separated out onto each of your body parts.
oh, okay.
So you can see each limb has. I've just checked it. Nothing's been damaged on that. Yeah.
Done, yeah.
Okay then. So there's a slight click, and the first thing that we need to do is some rolling, Dominic. So you normally, if you activate anything like this, you have a choice of 2 rolls. On this one, you're not going to get the choice of 2 rolls. You're only going to get the choice of 1. But if, for example, something was firing towards you, you would have the option to do a hard parry roll to try to knock it out. And for example, if you take an arrow cut and something was coming towards you, you would have been able to use that skill to knock it to one side. But unfortunately, this is coming a lot lower down. But you do have the opportunity to do an evade roll. So please go ahead and evade. Oh, hang on. Let me just take off Thimmybuzz fatigued. I didn't take it off.
Well, even with a fatigue, it's going to be.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So you hear this click, Dominic, and you quite naturally dive forward. Just roll an athletics roll for me, please.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you dive forward and actually manage to tumble as you dive and come up. Stood slightly in front. Ica's not that quick at all. And Briggs and Gulliver, you notice that from the side of the walls, and I'll draw them on for you roughly where they're coming out from. This is one side. And this is the other side. You suddenly notice that just as Dominic dives forward and conveniently rolls on the floor, you notice a series of what appears to be small darts shoot out of both sides, quite low down, almost like at kneecap level. Dominic rolls quite deftly out of the way of his, using his normal instinct. Ica, however, fails to roll or move at all, and you just see the darts fly out and come straight into her legs on either side.
How deep do they go?
Right?
Say again, sorry?
How deep are they? Big darts or?
They seem to be about this long, if you can see me on the screen.
Yeah.
And she's got like laminate then on her abdomen, then she's got scale greaves on, and they sort of like whack into her greaves, and you notice that some of them, Gulliver, because you're the closest, sort of like hit and bounce off. Others actually you see seem to penetrate just behind the greave into her flesh, and she doesn't collapse or anything. She almost like lets out a cry, not a like ah. She goes ah like that, and they really are small, and they appear to be almost like metal spikes, thin, and they just went like that and immediately clicked into her. She sort of like staggers a bit, and then she moves to one side and props herself up on the wall, and she sort of like slumps down back against the wall.
Gulliver wants to bend down. He wants to pick up one of these spikes that are fired out. One that's sort of like failed to penetrate.
Yeah.
And he wants to have a look at it and see whether or not there's anything on the end of it.
Okay, so can you tell me very specifically how you want to pick it up?
He wants to pick it up by the thick end.
Okay.
He wants to pick it up carefully, maybe within sort of like 3 fingers, as far to the end as he can, and then holding the torch up, he wants to move it round in the torchlight, see whether or not he can maybe see anything, any discoloration on the end of it, or whether or not he can see anything glinting on it, like there was some type of liquid picked up in the torchlight.
Okay, cool.
Or in the lantern light.
Yeah. Okay, then. Briggs, what would you like to do?
Briggs is gonna check out these traps. He doesn't know if they're gonna fire again, so he's gonna wait till the coast is clear and press down with his bow on one of the traps.
Yeah. Okay. And Dominic, what would you like to do?
Can I use first aid to see if I can check her leg and see if there's some way I can like pull the dart? Because is it stuck in her or is it out? The dart.
There are some darts stuck in her leg. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, then she's gonna need some kind of treatment. Can I see if I can use first aid on her?
Yeah, just move a little bit closer to her.
course,
And then
yeah.
that would be cool. So not that close.
Climbing on top.
It's a bit friendly. Don't tag her. Let's move back. Was that used wrong?
Just carry on. Carry on.
Okay, then let me just move
Okay.
Dominic in a appropriate.
I can't
There you
do
go.
it.
If you hold down your Alt key, it allows you to move specifically. Okay then. So let's go back around. So Gulliver, make a perception roll for me, please. Oh, nice. Yeah,
Thank you.
there seems to be definitely something on the end of these spikes, but it doesn't seem to be liquid or glistening at all. It almost like seems to be dried and caked on, as if it's been there for some time. Briggs, you sort of like press the floor with your bow, and you do hear it click up and down. But no more darts come from the side. And you can actually see now on the side tiny little holes in the stonework that where they actually came out of. That they looked like they were just sort of like held in place there, and then they literally just fired out. It's definitely a trap. It's not. It wasn't somebody flinging them or anything like that. So Dominic, make your. I think you do have the option to roll it just to me on your character sheet.
Yeah, there's a box up at the top. It says whisper roll to GM. It's under settings right there up at the top left of your character sheet.
Yeah, Jim.
So if you
And
click,
it's a toggle that you just put to yes.
Yeah, there we go.
yeah, cool. Don't forget to change it back. Okay, so you look down and you using the first aid that you use out in the wild. You sort of like think this is better out than in, and you sort of like pull it out, and you notice that it's quite clear on the tip, but it does have this brown flaky stuff on the back of the back of the spike. You notice where it has penetrated Ica's leg, that it seems to be bleeding, but apart from that, it looks fine, and a bit of pressure almost like stops the bleeding, and that's it.
This takes a couple of minutes to do, though, doesn't it? I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so when this is happening, Gulliver also wants to very carefully raise this spike up to his nose, and he wants to smell the tip of it to see whether or not there's any odor.
Okay. Do you have a particular skill that you wish to use? Or you just
No,
want to
he's
use
actually. Well, yes, he used to be a street urchin. He's trying to see whether or not it smells of shit.
All right. Okay, then go for it.
What would you like me to roll?
Perception, unless
Perception.
you've got another suitable skill.
No. I got a 43. I got a standard roll.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you don't think it's feces at all.
Okay. Gulliver's going to go over to Ica, and he's going to say, "Mistress Ica, do you feel any different? Is it just pain? Do your legs numb?"
She sort of like looks at you and sort of like says, "I feel fine, boy."
I think you should rest up a bit, at least until we can heal.
She says, "I feel fine. Why not just progress?"
We will progress, but we just rest here for a minute or two.
She actually sort of like stands up and she sort of like hobbles a bit as she adjusts her weight on her injured leg. And it was actually her leg nearest to this side that got the spikes, not the one that Dominic dived out the way of. And she sort of like says, "Look, it's fine. There's not a problem."
Gulliver's going to say, I do have a bit of healing power, Mistress Ica. So if you will permit me, I'll use my magic, and it will help, and then we can carry on.
She sort of like looks at you and sort of like says, "Oh, if you wish, boy."
As this is going on, can Billy Bob scout further? Briggs scout further ahead and check for more traps.
Yeah, if you show me, if you draw a line where you would like to go and where you would like to check for traps.
Right. So, he's gonna come down this side first.
Yeah.
And then make his way back up, and then
Okay,
across.
got ya.
And,
Got you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Do you have a specific skill that you would like to use?
Perception.
Yeah, I think it's gonna have to be perception.
Okay. So so you don't have any tracking skill. You don't have any.
I've got
no. So you don't have any.
Or survival.
Or survival.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you have any skill relating to detecting traps at all? No. Apart from
I suppose learning them growing up on the plains and stuff.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that you don't actually have that knowledge skill. We'll have to default into perception. Yeah, that's
right.
fine.
Okay.
Yeah, so roll your perception. Okay. While he's doing that, Gulliver, do you wish to cast your heal?
I will try.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, yes. So Gulliver kneels down by Ica's leg, and he gently puts his hand on the side where it's where she was wounded, and you hear him say, "Leia." And he casts his spell, and the power of healing flows through his hand.
Yeah, how much?
It goes on wounds. It depends on what type of wound it was.
Can you just link it? So I know?
Yeah, I'm doing it now.
Cool. A loss. Yeah. So you notice, Dominic, as Gulliver sort of like cast this spell, you notice that the wound where the spike was just heals up completely, and it actually looks like it was never there at all. That there's no scar tissue or anything. It just slowly that glows for a bit and then slowly seals and looks as good as new. Ica's quite impressed with this, Gulliver, and sort of like says, "You have strong magic in you, boy." Briggs, you don't find any traps in the...
Gulliver's going to use this this time where, obviously Ica is a bit more subdued.
Yeah.
And he's going to say, "Mistress Ica, forgive me, but I think it's probably best if one of us goes first from now on."
Right, and as on cue on this, you hear a familiar voice announcing that he's coming down the stairway, and he sort of like shouts down to you and says, he announces that he's coming down. He doesn't sort of like walk down so you all turn around and fire at him or anything. And he's sort of like...
I think you should let us well play this out.
And Hengist appears. Now, yeah, so Hengist, you can go from there.
Gulliver, what have you got yourself into this time? Where are you?
It wasn't me. I had nothing to do with any of it.
So where are you? Which way did you go?
We came down because that's the only way you can go. We came down, and then Dominic, who doesn't wear a shirt, he stood on a bit of stone, and these darts came out, but they didn't hit Dominic, but they did hit Ica, or Mistress Ica, and she was injured, and I healed her.
All right, lad, I'm coming. And Hengist stomps down the corridor and stairs. I can't see the screen as yet, by the way, which is why I said, "Which way did you go?" So I've just got a black square on my roll 20.
Oh, hang on. It's because you don't have your light.
It's because you're not part of our adventuring group.
Well, hey, there we go. Thank you. You take that back, Trigger Wugger.
Yeah, you'd rather go home and see your family. God.
Yeah. Gulliver's going. Once he's told Hengist where they are, he's going to continue trying to persuade Ica that somebody else should go first rather than her. He's going to say, you've already proven yourself that you're very brave, braver than most men I know, and also a strong fighter. And your order obviously thinks that this retrieval of this firebone is of great importance. Otherwise, they would have sent someone less capable than yourself. So, I think you should let other people go first. I don't know. I don't know a lot about your order, but
can you?
But maybe your father's misplaced concerns and the hiring of us are all part of the quest. Maybe even a test.
Roll influence and hide it to me, please.
At this, Dominic will stand up after, pulling out the dart and watching him heal it. And he'll stand up, grab his, big old battle axe. He'll start marching forward, and he'll kind of pound on his chest and be like, "Let's do this, then."
Okay, so
with me.
Ica says, "Well," she goes, "Well, since my father is paying for you to help me, then I suggest that yes, I will take a less dominant role in this leadership."
That's very kind of you, Mistress Ica, because your father is paying us a lot of money, and we are new in Lindo, and to be honest with you, we could do with the money.
Okay, so hang on, let me just get rid of Hengist's nameplate, because otherwise it messes things up. Okay, there we go. So you can rearrange your marching order if you wish, or if you wish to spread out a little bit more. Briggs has checked the corridor down to this part here on both sides and has declared it free of traps. So you are more than welcome to progress down. Well, first of all, get yourself into some kind of order, guys, and then we can decide.
Hengist will sort of advance up to the front of the party, nodding to the lady who he's called her name, but I can't remember it, and then walks up to the other chap who he's not actually met yet, and goes, "Hengist."
No, that's
Name's Dominic. Glad to have you here.
Excellent.
Glad to see you too.
Where would you like Ica?
Ica can go second row with Gully. And then you all right bringing up the rear, Briggs?
Yeah, I was gonna suggest that he'd be at the rear with the gear.
Yeah.
And Hengist, by the way, hasn't got his sword drawn, but he's got his shield out, and he's on his arm at the moment.
Okay, so I presume Dominic has his axe out, his battle axe out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gunther has a lantern.
Yeah.
Sorry, you said last adventure, didn't you, that there was like no dust or anything on the floor?
That is correct. Yeah.
What's that?
And I presume have you got your bow out, Briggs?
Yeah, he's always got his bow.
Yeah, and Ica has her Kopesh drawn. Now, if you remember, guys, this part here, that is a pillar in the
Right.
and you'll see it as you go past it. But apart from that, you're quite happy to move where you wish to move. But please remember, if you move to somewhere, I'm assuming that you've taken that route. Yeah.
Although Gulliver can't see probably the flooring in front because Dominic is in front of him. He's going to try to keep an eye on the side of the walls to see whether or not he can see in advance any more of those.
Oh yes, Scott. Yeah.
Small holes where the darts came out
Well,
of. Did they come out of particular? Was it on like a where some water had been put in, or were they just directly into the flagstone?
Now that you've actually moved a little bit further back down into the tunnel now you can actually see that the walls of the tomb have actually got murals on them. It looks like it's been chiseled out really effectively. There seems to be on both sides, there seems to be battle scenes and glorious battles scenes going on, and it appears to be people fighting reptiles. So they're sort of like not like tiny lizards. There seems to be these huge lizards there, and there's people sort of like thrusting spears into the lizards' faces, and there seems to be people hacking at their legs, and these lizards seem huge, and one of them has a person's body sort of like stretched over its mouth as if it had been impaled on its teeth, and you can see another lizard has stamped on a person quite viciously, and you also notice that these lizards, almost like a stegosaurus's tail, has spikes coming out of it, and it's almost like caught in slow motion as this tail is sort of like whooshing round and has impaled several soldiers on it. They tend to be both men and women fighting, and one thing that you do notice on both sides at regular intervals is what appears to be a crescent moon. It appears to be crescent, but at the same time it could be a moon being eclipsed by another moon. So it looks like a crescent moon, but it could have been some kind of eclipse going on. You're not too sure.
Gulliver wants to ask Ica whether or not she recognises these scenes from any event in the history of Odes.
Okay, so guys, are you just standing here while this is happening, or is it a case that you're moving on as Gulliver asks Ica these questions? Yeah,
a slow, steady march forward.
I would turn to we got to choose direction, so I guess I'd turn to Hengist and I'd be like, "Well, newcomer, Hengist, you feel free to pick the path."
Hengist is going to go, "Thank you," and then he's going to sort of like half like pause a step as he looks briefly outside, and then he goes, "We'll go this way," and he points with his free hand off to the left. His left, no, sorry, his right. I'm getting the.
Okay, so if you start to move, yeah,
that way,
yeah. Okay then, so is Dominic going first then, or are you going first, Hengist?
Actually, let him go first. He has the shield, and then I've got my axe out. So if anything, he can block an attack, and I can jump over him with the axe.
Okay, so
war machine.
Remember, Gulliver's the only person with the light. So when Gulliver moves down, you'll be able to see more.
That makes sense.
No, I can't move. Can we move? Ica, can we have?
Okay, just go back a bit. Just go. Oh yeah, stop.
Okay.
No, that's fine where you are now, Hengist. That's
Okay.
And
I'm not touching you.
if everybody moves down one as well. So, are you moving next, Gully? And then I'll move
Yeah.
Ica behind you. Okay, so what you can see now is as follows. So, behind you, this thing here seems to be a double pillar. Okay, so it's not like a split in the corridor. It's as if two pillars have been made to sort of like hold up a roof or something like that. Ahead of you, Hengist. So this way, what you can actually see is you can see that this here and this here are pillars. So it's almost as if the pillars have been made to make that part of the corridor here thinner.
Okay.
Okay. You can also see from where you are looking around that down here, I'm just pinging the 3 again. So the 2 on the outside are actually pillars as well. And there again, these pillars have been made, seems to have put on either side to make the passageway in between narrow. As if saying, you cannot pass down here unless, only one person at the time can pass down here. You can't...
Is everybody else seeing the same as I'm seeing? Just a whole load of blackness on it?
Yeah.
Yes, that's all right then.
Yeah, because that's your light.
Right, yeah.
So,
I didn't know whether
example,
or not I could make out the pillars.
No, I'm just telling you there's a pillar there. But for example, these here are pillars, but something could actually be hiding behind the pillars now here in that blackness, and you would not know.
Right.
Because
So,
there's no light there. Yeah.
Everybody's human. No one has like dark vision or anything like that, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Just checking.
Yeah, it's a human-only game.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, cool. Following the party leader.
Um,
I'm behind you, so.
Hengist is going to get to this point, pause, and go. Do we know what we're doing down here?
I'll turn back and be like, Miss, do you have a map or some shit? I was about to censor myself because I have to remember I'm on Inwils channel, so I was about to censor myself. And be like, oh god, don't cuss.
I don't mind Dominic cursing. You can curse. I've put the mature rating up now, so it's not
like,
a problem.
I stuttered
after that conversation.
Yeah. So Ica relates to you, Hengist, why you're down here, and sort of like brings you up to date with everything. So you are aware of what they're looking for.
Okay. He's going to, again, Hengist is going to judge which way he thinks he's going to go, and he's just going to shrug and go, we'll go this way. And he's going to march off up this way.
Okay.
Does Ica have any inspirational words about the murals that are on
Yeah, she sort of like looks at them, and she mutters something about twin moon clerics defeating the spawn of planes of hell. And if you remember,
to say,
her Parthenon,
when you say twin moons, do you mean Amriel and McDuff?
She just slowly nods at you. I think they're waiting for
Gulliver
you.
will nod back.
Yeah.
And move here.
Okay, Gulliver, you can notice that down here, you might want to check out what's going here. Because you can see a bit more of that now. And Hengist, the corridor in front of you from Gully's light seems to light up what appears to be a dead end. I say appears because it's a massive mural So it's not like just a brick wall.
Okay.
It's literally a huge mural, and it seems to, from the little bit you can see, because you can only see this part and this little part at the moment, from the light that's coming from Gulliver behind you, you can see something that looks like it seems to be a reptile, but you think it probably is a snake. It looks like it. You can see sort of like the coiled tail of a snake.
Yeah, Angus will take another couple of steps forwards to make sure that there's nothing else in the
Gulliver will
room.
take a couple of steps this way.
And the mural, and you say just a mural in here, and then he's going to turn and move down, rejoin the rest of the party.
Okay, so ahead of you, Gulliver, you can see that there's an alcove, and in this alcove there appears to be some kind of urn. It's quite big. As you stand there, it would come up to a man's waist, and the urn has rope round its neck, and then it seems to have some kind of cloth over the top that is then sealed with this rope. So the cloth goes over the top and under the rope, and it's just literally stood there.
How big is the urn? It's not on a pedestal, I take it. Is it sort of like a large urn coming up from the floor?
Yeah, it comes up. It's stood on the floor, and it's coming up roughly to an average man's waist.
Right. Is there any engraving on it, or any mural, or does it look like it's painted at all? And
No, it just looks like a pot urn.
right, okay.
It
So
doesn't.
it's some type of.
It doesn't have any handles either. So it's literally top, round, urn, and then that's it. I'll draw it for you if that'd be helpful.
No, I know what you.
Yeah.
I know basically what you want about, and it's covered in cloth.
The top is.
And does it look like the cloth's sort of like being put over the top, and then the rope's being wrapped around the cloth?
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Yeah.
Okay, right. So Gulliver's going to say, "Guys, look, there's an urn. Maybe the person's bones are actually inside the urn." Shall I open it?
Sure.
Right. Okay. I'll ask.
It's like everybody's so quiet. I don't know.
I know. Welcome to my life.
Dominic will walk over and just stab it with his axe. Just break it. Just
Okay.
bash it in.
So you can actually move to the other side of Gulliver there. And you sort of like whack. You're probably better hitting it with the pummel of your axe rather than the blade, because the blade won't actually fit into it. And you sort of like bash it with the end of your axe, and it opens. The cloth almost like flakes away. It looks so aged. It looks like all moisture's been taken away from it. And as you whack it, it just sort of like crumbles into the pot. And just make a perception roll for me. Oh, yeah. So what actually comes out is almost like this sweet smell. And so that's a critical roll, best roll you can get. This sweet smell comes out, and you remembered this like a form of incense that you used when you were people within your tribe were buried or cremated, whatever your belief was, and it smells almost like of incense that suddenly starts to waft into the corridor.
Gulliver's going to say, "Dominic, when I said shall I open it, I meant shall I take the top off?"
Well,
You've gone and broken it now.
I mean, same result.
So,
Is there any
yeah.
bones or anything
No,
in the
ritual
wreckage?
Dominic can't see in because you have the light.
All right. So Gulliver's going to he's going to sort of like hold his nose because he's not used to that sort of like smell. It's a bit sweet and sickly for him. But he's going to hold the lantern close to the remains of the urn to see whether or not he can see any bones in the debris.
Okay. Well, Briggs, what are you doing?
Briggs he's terrified of being down here. He's underground. He really doesn't like it. He's just looking everywhere that he can see to make sure that like everyone's still where they were.
Okay. Cool. And Briggs, what are you doing?
That was Briggs.
Sorry, Hengist, what are you doing?
Well,
Hengist has just been watching all of this. He turns to Gully and goes, "Well, anything there apart from the incense?"
Okay. And Dominic, is there anything you would like to do in this sort of like little piece of action?
I'll just push up to Hengist, who seems to be standing at the entrance, kind of clap him on the shoulder and be like, "Best we keep moving."
Okay, so Gulliver, you sort of like peer in with your lantern, and they about halfway down the urn. There appears to be some almost like powdery substance in there. It looks a bit like sand. That is obviously giving off the smell. You also notice that there's some things glinting in there. It looks like some items of perhaps jewellery or maybe coins or something like that.
Does the jewellery look valuable?
Roll your commerce roll.
Do
Do you have commerce?
I do indeed. I was finding it.
Yeah. Yes, it looks like it'll bring a few like maybe tens or hundreds of silver pieces, but it doesn't look super valuable.
Okay.
Hengist is
Gully's going to turn around and say, "There's no. I can't see any bones in here. This is not the urn we're looking for."
These are not the drawings we're looking for.
Hengist is going to go, "Right, on we go then."
Right, so before you move off, Dominic and Hengist, if you were looking further down the map, you can actually start to see something now that wasn't apparent before. And it seems to be something quite wooden. And can you see where you can just see the edge of it?
Is that it there? Ooh.
Yeah, and you should be able to see something else as well. Should be able to see two of them.
Oh, I can only see one.
Coffins, it looks like.
Yeah, and so you can see one here, and you can see one here, and these are definitely some kind of wooden burial container. They look like coffins. You also notice from the ends, they appear to have a metal plate over the end, as if it's been bound with iron or lead or something. You can see the torchlight, the lantern light sort of like glinting off it now and again. It's not highly polished, but there is sort of like bits of metallic shine coming off it. So you figure they're probably coffins, but more iron bound. And this is not something that... could you roll, Hengist and Dominic, you should have a customs roll. Could you roll your customs roll? Yeah, so neither of you have ever seen anything like this before. Coffins in this world tend to be just coffins, and that's it. They tend just to be wooden coffins that are nailed together, and that's it. There doesn't seem to ever be any iron bounding on it.
Okay. Angus is going to say, looks like there's something in here that we that where it might be, and he's just going to start walking into the room, still keeping within the light though.
Gulliver's going to hurry to keep up because he's got the lantern and knows that people are going to need to see.
Yeah, and Briggs is going to be doing the same. He wants to stay in that light.
Cool. So you should be able to see something a little bit more now.
Yeah, Angus sort of like see it, because you can see that the coffins are that we've seen already are sort of like in little alcoves.
They certainly are.
He sees something sort of like more prominent in the room at the end, so he's just going to walk straight down towards the end of the room and say, "I think this one might be the one."
Gulliver's going to stop to look at this one.
Okay.
Is it man
Okay,
size,
hang on.
child size?
Let's come. So down at the bottom, as Hengist and Dominic pass this point here, there's a sort of like a sound, and you notice down at the bottom there's two sort of like pedestals, and it's not a bright flame, but this ghostly flame comes into existence and just seems to flutter. The best way to describe it to you, it's red, but if you light a gas, you know, and that bluey flame that you get, it looks a bit like that. It's not like a torchlight. It's quite ghostly and translucent, and it just as soon as you step into this chamber, it goes and automatically lights the way. And in front of you, you can see what appears to be a huge stone sarcophagus. It's on a pedestal, so it has a pedestal and then it has the sarcophagus. It's actually oblong in shape, so it's like a cuboid. It has a lid, and you can see from where you are that the lid is ornately carved. And you can, even from where you are in the light, you can see that it's scenes of humans battling reptiles. The one directly in front of you, Gulliver, that you wanted to check, yeah, it's definitely wooden, and it's definitely human size, but you do think it's a bit small to be somebody like Dominic or Hengist. You know, it's almost like your size, and yet the one on the opposite side is slightly bigger.
Are they the same colour, the same wood?
Exactly the same colour and wood, and you notice that the wood bindings come over the top and up the sides and over the top.
Gulliver's going to almost shout down to Hengist and Dominic, because they have moved forward a fair bit. He's going to say, I think you should be careful. I think whoever designed this tomb may have taken steps so that grave robbers couldn't get their treasure so easily. I think you should be careful. You've already set off 2 traps now, Dominic.
Hengist is going to turn to Dominic, and if Dominic catches his eyes, he's just going to roll his eyes. But then at the same, just after that, call back to Cohen and say, "We'll be careful. Don't worry."
Was there like a click or anything when the lights came on?
No, it was literally they came into the alcove and it just went. Sorry, Dominic, what do you say?
No, I just looked back at Hengist and just kind of shrugged and just.
Okay, cool.
Can I hold Hengist back and just like put my foot in and see if the lights like turn off and then turn back on, turn off, turn on?
If once you, even if you move back to these squares and then move in and out,
They'll stay on.
they stay on.
Oh, okay.
They
Never mind.
seem to be blazing now. It's almost as if you've turned them on and then that's it.
Well, sorry, what was the woman's name again?
Ica.
Ica. Hengist is going to turn to Ica and go, the thigh bone we're meant to be getting, was it from a fairly important person? Because if so, could be in there.
Yes.
And then he's going to gesture.
Gulliver's going to answer and goes, yes, it is. It's from the most important person in the tomb.
And
In that case,
Ica agrees with
probably that
Gulliver.
I'm gonna move my character. Just tell me if anything stops me or if I'm not able to. I'm gonna move him around the tomb. My guy, he's more superstitious. Like he believes in the gods and knows that the gods are powerful. So he's not gonna, not a curse word. He's not gonna mess with the dead at all. He's not gonna like touch them or go near them or like the coffins. He's not gonna disturb them in any way.
Yeah.
So he would just circle the coffin and kind of move up, and he just want to like puts his hand over the flame, just kind of seeing how it works. He's like looking at it like.
Yeah.
If it's hot, if it hurts, I don't know.
It's really interesting because there's no heat in the flame at all. It seems to only be producing light, and it just wavers and flickers, and yet it's quite transparent, and it has no heat or burning sensation at all.
Gulliver's going to say to Briggs, he's going to say, Briggs, keep an eye out behind, because this looks like it's a dead end, and if anything comes down now, they could quite easily attack us, and we've got nowhere to run. Nowhere.
Briggs is just going to nod his head.
Angus is
Gully's going to go down and have a look at these next two coffins.
Angus is going to take his shield off, and he's going to prop it up against that corner.
Yeah.
So it's still within easy reach, but it's not being sort of like encumbered by it. And he's going to go and he's going to turn to Ica and go, I suppose we need to open this then.
And she sort of like looks at you and says, I had to open the tomb. Maybe people more powerful and stronger and with the expertise of moving heavy objects will be able to open it for me.
Angus is going to go, okay. He's going to roll his shoulders as he walks up to about this side, and then he's going to slowly and carefully, adding more and more strength as it's needed, start pushing it. But he wants to sort of like pivot it, so he doesn't want to push the whole thing off. He just wants to pivot the bottom, what he assumes is going to be the bottom half. So if I don't know if you can see the screen, but it does this essentially.
Yeah. Okay.
If you think a key flap,
yeah,
you know, that fancy thing in front of the key lock. So that's
soon as Hengist starts to move the top of the tomb, Gully's going to shout. Who's going to go? Hengist, wait!
Brawn roll, please, Hengist.
Brawn roll.
Dominic just steps back and leans against the wall, kind of leaning
embarrasses himself.
Battle axe. So
Hengist tries to push the tomb, the top stone of the tomb, trying to do this fancy twizzling it just to get the bottom off, and he pushes it really hard, but nothing seems to move at all. It seems to be actually quite firmly in place, Briggs, can you roll a perception check for me, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're busy looking down the corridor and sort of like scanning backwards and forwards, and all of a sudden you hear a sound that sounds like, it sort of like goes, and you notice that the coffin to your right on the screen has actually opened.
Briggs is gonna frantically start tapping on Gully's shoulder. He's like,
and you notice that Gulliver, as you're being tapped, out of the coffin rises what appears to be not a huge skeleton, sort of like a 5'10" skeleton. It seems to be carrying what appears carrying a shield, and it. Let me just check what else it's carrying. Steps out. I'll just move it around. Steps out onto the onto this sort of like the pavement. It's carrying a mace, and sort of like glances around like this, as if it's perusing and checking the content, and then it sees you lot, and then it just turns, and we will have some initiatives. Let me just...
Don't forget to select your token.
Not yet, guys. Let me just clear everybody's and do this. Right, you can go.
Who doesn't have a name? Is that? Oh, it's Dominic.
Dominic.
What do you mean?
What?
Doesn't
I have a name.
has a name?
No, on my
turn
on
order.
on the turn thing, I can see everybody's name apart from.
Oh, I see mine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see yours as well. Don't worry.
I don't see Dominic or Ikers.
Yeah, I don't see them too either.
I see
Oh,
everyone, so don't worry.
Oh, that's fine then.
No, it's fine.
So we're going, gentlemen, in that order. Yeah. Can you see the order all right then, guys?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay then. So round one, combat turn one. Gully, you are up on 18 as Briggs frantically taps you on the shoulder.
Yeah, so Gully was watching Hengist moving this slab off the top of this tomb, and as he was doing it, Gully had shouted out, "No, Hengist!" to stop him to moving it. He gets tapped on the shoulder by Briggs, and he turns around and he sort of like looks at Briggs, but then looks past and sees this skeleton with a shield and mace, and he shouts out, "Hengist!" sort of like really alarmed, sort of like, "Get over here quick!" And he's going to look round at the other ones as well to see whether or not there's any movement from any of the other two. So he's then going to look round at this one,
Yeah,
and then at
that's
this
fine.
one.
Yeah. So if you roll your perception roll to me, and then we'll move on to Briggs. Briggs, you're up.
Okay, he's as soon as that's happened, and I'm tapping him on the shoulder. He's immediately gonna draw an arrow.
Okay, cool. And therefore, this is now my attack, and this guy comes straight over to you, Briggs, and I am rolling to see whether or not I hit. Okay, so it takes a swipe with its mace and misses you. Dominic, you're up.
Well, at this point, Dominic's still like he's leaned back against the wall watching Hengist move the coffin, so he has no idea what's going on behind him. So I'll pass this turn.
You actually know. You will have heard Gulliver shout for Hengist's aid because he's already done that. So you have heard Gulliver shout Hengist in some kind of urgency, but you will know that. Yeah. Okay, Hengist.
Hengist's problem. I'll go ahead and pass this turn. At least defer, I believe is the term.
Diver.
Yeah,
Hengist, you're up.
Is that not what I said?
So if Hengist looks in the direction of Gully, would he be able to see the skeleton creature.
Oh yes, yes, most definitely.
He will be able to.
Yeah.
In that case, he's going to turn, and he's going to use his action to move to where he dropped his shield.
Okay. Ica will.
Well, but he's running.
Yeah.
He's not walking.
Ica will use her action to move into combat, and that is the end of turn 1. So we're up to turn 2 now. So Gully.
Gulliver's going to point at this skeleton with his 2 fingers crossed, and he's going to shout, "Evit!" as he tries to cast a spell.
Is it endurance?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Roll away.
No.
No. So you cast a spell and it just sort of like dissolves as it comes out. You probably think due to the underground crypt, it's something affecting your minor folk magic. Briggs, you're up.
Do I get to fire this round?
What's your reload?
It's 2.
2.
Yes, you do then.
Right. Okay. So yeah, he's gonna immediately this is gonna be a panic shot. So
Yeah.
No, lower down. Huntsman. There we go. So he notches an arrow and lets it fly.
Yeah,
Not a panic shot.
that hits.
Pretty point blank range. So
that hits really nicely, and you actually this skeleton will try to evade your shot.
I've just got the picture at the moment in my head of Legolas from Lord of the Rings just going point blank range with the 2 towers.
And misses. So you have a special. What do you wish to do with your special?
Fast reload.
Okay, so that will be 1 round of reload. Yeah, and so location and damage, please.
Right. So location first.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1d20.
1d20. That's it. Right in the 17.
Yeah. So you swipe at its left arm.
Oh, okay. And the damage. Oh, 4.
4 points on its left arm. Well, yeah, so that hits quite nicely onto his arm, and it actually takes it down. And I'm just going to make an endurance check. Which arm was it?
Left.
Left.
Left. Okay, then. So you sort of like as you fire it, and you find that as this thing sort of like try to blast and block it with its shield, it actually opens up its arm, and you actually get the arrow straight into almost like the top and shoulder, and it sticks in really deep, and there's almost like a tearing of tendons. You hit the tendons absolutely perfectly, and what happens is that you notice that this skeleton's arm wavers for a bit on the bone, but then just sort of like comes back to life. It should have taken the bone off, but it should have taken the arm off, but it doesn't.
Right.
Sorry,
Briggs is gonna give like a little shudder.
Okay, and Skellington is up, but it's got no action points left. Dominic, you're up.
Okay. So now I've heard all this commotion. So, from where I'm at, if I turn around, would I have visual of this?
Yeah, well, you can see both Briggs and Ica in combat now, and even Gulliver's in combat and dealing with a skeleton.
Okay. Now I'm curious because I haven't played the system before, so I have my throwing axes. If I was to throw one, would it would I be penalized because there's people in between us, or would it
Yes.
be able to?
So what happens? Just pulled this up for you so I can quote it. Exactly. So what will happen if you're firing into a crowd? So it's actually in the midst of combat. So your to hit roll will be formidable.
Oh,
So
okay.
you have to get the formidable. If it's a success at a formidable, then you will hit the target. Okay. If you fail, okay, but would have succeeded at a standard roll, you hit the adjacent victim.
Okay. Interesting.
Would
So-
that be Briggs?
Or Ica.
If
Or-
it was just Briggs, it might have been worth a chance.
Or, just out of interest, if there was another skeleton here, then it could hit that as well.
Gotcha.
But the
And by the way, Raf, we played it wrong last adventure. It takes you one round or one turn to.
ready your hand axe.
So you have to draw it first, which is one action point, and then
That's what I
throw
thought.
it on your second one.
That's what I thought. Okay. So
We had to check it up after the adventure.
Gotcha. Yeah, I figured it would be. So I've already got my two-handed axe equipped. So I guess what I'll do this round is I'll just move up into combat.
Yeah, so it just like normal D&D combat, you can move through combat, through things as long as you don't end up in combat. So imagine this combat at the front is not stationary. It's actually people moving around. So you can actually move through it if desired.
Now, let me see. My movement is 6, so I can move 6 squares. Is that?
Yeah, you should be able to move 6 meters. So you should be able to use the ruler to show 6. It's 3 meters up to yeah.
Okay, 6 meters, not 6 squares. Gotcha. Okay. In that case, yeah, I'll move up to here.
Okay, cool. So that's that. Okay, Hengist, you're up.
Hengist is going to put his shield on his shield arm.
Excellent.
That will be his action.
Yeah, and Ica is going to take a whack at this skeleton with her Kopesh, and just nearly takes off your head. You sort of like start to run through, and Dominic, and there's a sort of like a swipe of a Kopesh that narrowly misses you as she swipes for the skeleton, but misses. And so that is the end of round 2. Does anybody have actions left for round turn
Yes.
3?
I do. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Dominic, how many action points do you have per round?
I have 1 left. Oh, two total, but I have 1 left because I've moved once.
Yeah,
Yeah, but if you
You dithered. Yeah, you dithered, so you've got none.
Differed costs a point.
Yeah.
No action is a point.
Is an
It's
action.
point.
Taking no action counts as taking an action.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what
it just means that you were too frightened to actually do anything.
and the
So
reason
you don't.
the reason it does that is that people can't just wait across the turn doing nothing and then suddenly burst into action at the end, because the time is actually so you can delay your action and say, just like in D&D, if something does something, I'll do it. But if you literally stand there and do nothing, it's classed as a dither, and so you just waste the action. So it stops people hanging around, saving up their action points, and then diving into combat at the end.
Gotcha. That's good to know. All right, yeah. So I'm at 0 then.
So, so Hengist, it'd be Gully first.
Gully's going to take a couple of steps back. He's going to be keeping an eye on these other coffins to see whether or not there's any movement from those.
Yeah.
But at the moment he can't do anything. So he's going to use his thing to as a perception
Okay, cool.
check to keep an eye on the other ones.
Can you just roll that for me now?
Another one. I rolled
yes.
the last one.
Yeah, you need to roll another one now.
Again, directly to you.
Yes, please. Yeah.
You know I can see those well, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
can't,
Then.
so
Yeah. Okay then. Thank you. And Hengist, what would you like to do?
Hengist is going to use this action turn to draw his sword.
Yeah. Cool. Excellent. Okay then. So we're now on round 2. And this will be turn 1 of round 2. So please wait till I clear the... Right, you can go now.
Oh, getting better.
Gully, your attack is always so high. Okay, there we go.
I have initiative bonus of 12.
Nice. Okay, here we go. So this is round 2. So at the end of this round 2, you've got Gully. You've got an endurance check. Gully, you are up. You're first.
Anything from the
No, not yet.
right? Okay. Gulliver's going to reach into his tunic and take out the small metal disc that he uses to concentrate his spell power through.
Okay, cool. And next up is Hengist.
Hengist is so having running over to his shield, picking up his shield, putting it on, drawing his longsword. He's now going to advance to more like cautiously towards that sort of position. But then he's just going to pause there.
Okay. Skeleton time. Dominic, you suddenly hear to your left the coffin open, and this a skeleton rises up out of the coffin. This is its turn. It can't do that's its actual the action for it. So that's where it's staying at the moment. And the one next to you, right? Let's do Dominic, you're 1, Briggs, you're 2, Ica's 3. Did it roll? Yeah. So it hits the first skeleton, rolls at Ica. Actually hits her, so she parries it with, or tries to parry it with her weapon, and fails. So the skeleton will roll some damage on her. 16.
It's left arm.
Cool. And it will do, let me just do the damage. Hengist, did you correct all your armor, by the way?
I put it back in.
Yeah,
that's what you meant.
that's cool. Yeah,
I assumed it had glitched and lost it rather than you taking it out.
Yeah.
So I put it in.
So this skeleton whacks its mace against her, what was it, her left arm?
Yeah.
Yeah, and sort of like whacks at it. And Briggs and Dominic, you hear almost like this cry as you notice that Ica's arm sort of like almost like falls useless to her side. It doesn't look like it's fallen off or anything. It looks like there's quite a hefty blow with this mace that the skeleton is wielding. And Dominic, you're up.
All right. My battle axe has reach medium, so he should be able to reach this guy, right?
It depends. Let me just check the distance. We'll say for now that you can, and then I'll check the rules later on it. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I'm figuring because the hatchet has reached small, so I'm guessing that means like right next to him. So I was guessing medium would mean one more. I don't know. But anyways, we're saying it again, so I want to go ahead and swing at this guy, see if I can knock him back into his coffin.
Okay, cool.
So I didn't use my. Actually, I think it would be better to use Axeman, my magic.
Yeah.
I think that would be smarter.
What you're going to do? You're going to cast Axeman.
Yeah, I think that would be smarter.
Okay, yeah.
Augment skill?
So you need to roll your that power to see whether or not it goes off.
Now the intensity, right? That's something I'm supposed to put in.
Yeah. So if on your character sheet there should be. I'm just coming into it now. So if you see it wafting around a bit, you'll know. So if you click Axeman. And then what it should come up at intensity. Now, the maximum level of your intensity is 3. You can't have any higher than that. And the maximum cumulative intensity is 5. So you could have one mystic ability up at 3 and one up at 2. But you couldn't have 3 and 3. So you decide what the intensity is going to be for it. And then you cast it.
And it's 3 magic per 1 intensity, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. Let me just because it's different from each of your skills, isn't it? It's a bit of a strange one. And whereabouts am I? One magic point per intensity.
Oh, it's 1 magic point per intensity.
Yeah, for an augmented skill. Yeah.
Oh, okay, excellent. Okay, well in that case,
But you need, you roll it, and then, but it might not come off. Just remember that.
Oh, okay. So we'll do. I'm at 13 magic right now, so I'm gonna put it at 3 intensity. Roll it.
So you need to, So that's that. But what I need is your
did that not work?
You need your mystic roll, which is on your front sheet.
Oh.
Can you see on the so that's what it will do.
Mysticism.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So that's a crit roll. So
I'll take that.
yeah. So you only expend half the magic because you cast it so well. So you only expend 2 magic points instead of the 3. So now, instead of being a standard roll next time, it will be a very easy roll that you need to do. Okay, so that's Dominic on 10. Briggs.
Okay, Briggs is got because he's did the fast reload. He's gonna fire off yet another arrow.
His second arrow this time. Yeah.
Yep. Where's it go? There he is.
Sorry, that was me.
Oh wait, no, ignore that. That's the one. Oh, this one.
Yeah,
Standard.
you fire your arrow off, and as you're sort of like aiming, you sort of like shaking, and you just like fire it off, and it just sails down and sort of like hits down here.
Yeah, he's still panicking, so yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Who's next? Ica. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ica will whack with her Kopesh. And misses. Okay, turn 2, guys. Gully, we're up to you.
outstretching his hand with the disc in it, Gulliver is going to start to cast a spell which will come off till the end of his next turn.
Okay, yeah. So he's spell casting, yeah? He's spell
Yeah.
prepping. Yeah, excellent. Hengist, you're up.
Hengist is going to, seeing the skeleton over here rising up, he's going to dither this turn because he's assuming that the other two, if two of the four coffins have already given skeletons burst out of two of the coffins already.
Okay.
He's going to stay here. He's not going to do that. He's going to delay his action if this coffin opens, he's going to take a swipe at whatever comes out of it very quickly.
Okay. This is the dice roll to see who the... it goes for Ike again.
Ico again.
Fumbles. Fumble. So that's a miss, and this skeleton will now close in its reach to you, and that'll be its movement. So it's ready to fight next round. Dominic, you're up.
All right. I'm going with X-Men. Very easy.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. So you will have this guy can't parry or anything, so you've got a special. So what special would you like?
I don't think. I mean, this guy that got hit before, is he bleeding? Do they bleed?
It will have it will slice its bone, but it has no blood to lose.
Okay. Yeah,
So, but it will get tired. So,
let's see. I just want to see if there's any. What was the other? I had something else I could do. I was just looking through them. I'm not used to these, so I just had to look real quick.
it's all right.
Oh wait, duh! It has it listed right here. Bleed or sunder. Sunder's the other one. Let's see. What does sunder do again?
So what that does, I'll read it to you.
Oh, I got it right here.
You got it?
Damage. Yeah, I pulled it up. Thankfully, you sent these to me. Damage the armor or natural protection of an opponent. Reduces the armor points by any damage above armor point value. If armor point destroyed, carries over to HP.
So
these
what?
guys have any armor on them?
They seem to have some kind of leather armor on their chest and abdomen, but that's it.
Okay. I mean, do I have? I guess we'll use the bleeding one. I'll just cut through and see if I can. I don't
Okay,
really
cool.
care about destroying his armor right now. All right. So damage.
Yeah, 1d20. I'll do a 1d20 first, so I know where it's going to hit.
Oh, that's right. Right.
Yeah.
12.
12.
Chest.
Yeah, on its chest. And how much damage is it taking? 4.
4.
Okay, so you swipe at this, and it sort of like hits its armor. You actually feel your axe go through the armor, and it sort of like digs into the armor. But you almost like feel that it goes in between two ribs once you get in there, and then as you follow it through. So you don't you think it did some damage, but not a huge amount. Okay. We're up to Briggs. You're up.
Right.
Did Ica have a turn? Sorry. Oh no, sorry. No, I'm skipping ahead. Sorry. Ignore me.
Yep.
Briggs is gonna notch another arrow.
Okay, cool. Okay, and then Ica will have a swing at this one in front of her. and she misses it. And that is the end of turn 2.
I've still got
Yeah.
action.
Yeah, turn
So
3.
Hengist.
Yeah, Gully, go.
Okay, so Gulliver's. This is the second round that he's casting spells. So this round it comes off.
Second turn, yeah.
Second turn, I'll just roll it to see whether or not it actually comes off.
Oh, hang on, before... Okay. No.
Okay, I'm going to use a point of luck to swap those 2 rolls round.
Oh, so it gets 27? Yeah. So did you hear that, Raf? Can you see? Yeah, so he's using 1 luck point to change 72 to 27, which means that his spell will come off. Who are you casting it as?
So he holds out the symbol, and the grey smoke starts to ooze from the centre of it. It goes in between Briggs and Ica, directly towards the skeleton that's fighting Ica.
Okay.
I'll just roll the thing so you know what
location.
resist you can
have.
No, you've got a resist. I'm just
is it
doing
evade?
the standard thing.
Endurance.
It's an endurance resist.
Failed.
Okay, so it wraps around his left arm.
Yeah.
And it does 1d6, I think it is, isn't it? Yeah, 1d6. So the smoke wraps around its left arm, and as it does so, there's like a crackling of electrical energy, and it takes 3 points to its left arm, which I think is the one that it's already been injured on, isn't it?
Yeah. So actually, the smoke comes out and it sort of like wraps round the left arm of this the shield arm of the skeleton, and it wraps around and it crackles, and all of a sudden you hear this almighty snap sound, and the whole arm just falls to the ground, completely useless. It looks like you've just ripped off its shield arm altogether. Excellent. And I think, Hengist, you've got one as well.
Hengist, yeah, he does. He's going to do the same as last time, so he's going to delay his action. No, he's not going to do the same as he did last time. He's going to delay his action, but he's going to call to Ica instead, set and shout, "Fall back and I'll take your place."
Cool. So we're up to Gully. You need to make a endurance check. Okay, so you're tied now, please. Okay, this is
winded, yeah.
Yeah, winded. Sorry, yeah. Okay, so this is combat round 3. Sorry, I'm just...
Briggs didn't do his token.
Who didn't do his token?
Briggs.
Oh, thank goodness there's music coming on. I got worried because I had fireworks going outside, so I thought it was a party or something suddenly starting.
Right. Have I only got one? I've got Gully and Hengist.
And Briggs didn't do his token. He got a 13.
How do I add myself to the turn order?
Got a 13, I've done it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Raf hasn't rolled.
It's there, I
There we
swear. I'm sorry.
Okay.
He was delaying his action. He dithered. He dithered on his initiative.
I wanted to see what everybody else's was first, and then I'll go. Oh, he gets 2. Oh, lucky bastard.
What?
Oh, there's 2 of them. Duh. Oh, wow. I'm not an idiot, I swear.
Maybe we should have a chat after.
Oh,
Right.
Oh,
Oh, nice. 19. Lots of 15s, guys.
Well, 2.
3.
Yeah. Okay
3.
then.
It's a 3. Oh yeah. Didn't see that one.
Okay, so this is round 3. So here's my roll. One. Dominic gets it.
Gets it.
Dominic, hang on. Let me roll to hit you first, and then you can
Okay.
decide what you need to do. Right, I missed you. So,
I don't really want to do anything.
So that's not a problem at all. Gully, you're up.
Okay, so Gully is going to cause the smoke to release the arm and then wrap around another location,
Yeah.
so you will get another endurance.
Because I think what you probably did is wrapped it round the top of the shoulder and then sort of like snapped the shoulder off. And now you're sort of like going for another location.
Yeah, so yeah, you would get a...
Surely I don't get another endurance every time. It's only when you cast a spell. You're not casting it again. It's just continuous.
all right, okay.
Yeah.
So this is round its right leg.
Okay.
For 3 points again.
Yeah, so you give you sort of like wrap it round and you sort of like squeezing it and you start to sort of like crack the bone, but you haven't really sort of like snapped it in half or anything like that. Right, Hengist, you're up.
Hengist is going to delay his action in the hopes that Ica is going to fall back, and then as soon as she does, he wants to take her place.
Okay. This is coming at you, Dominic, from your other side now. You're in the midst of combat as it swings its mace at you but misses, and you're up.
My shirtless body is distracting them. They don't actually want to hit it.
Yeah, I think apart from you got your scale mail on, so but you still look good.
Oh yeah, right. I do have my scale mail on. Right. Not totally shirtless.
But you've got
Maybe
one.
that's the problem. Maybe I should be shirtless.
You know, I think you've got one of those. I often see you in the sense that you've got this scale armor on that is actually carved, you know, indented to be exactly like your body. So the scale is actually like, it's like a breastplate that actually has abs and chest, pecs and everything like that. You know, so in the light, you just look like an oiled version of yourself.
It's like one of those shirts where it has like, it's like me wearing a shirt, but it has like the body of this woman in a bikini.
Yeah, that's it. You know, like
Yeah.
when you're doing the cooking, it's like that. Yeah, so that's it. So yeah, do you want to do some hitting?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I'm gonna smash out at this dude since we've got a couple people who can hit this guy. I'm gonna smash out at this one
cool.
here again. So, right there we go.
So you're still at very easy. So you crit now. You crit with this skeleton. This skeleton will try to parry and fails. Now you have some more options now. So you can actually, because you've critted,
Insta kill.
you can do maximum. You can maximize damage if you so desire.
Yeah. Let's max damage. That just sounds great.
Okay, then, so roll your d20 first.
Roll 1d20 and roll 16.
So on its
Left arm again.
left arm, and what would be your maximum damage, including maximum strength modifier?
Well, it's a 1d8 plus 1, so 9, and then strength modifier. How do I?
It's in your attributes. Do you have a strength modifier? It's in your attribute.
Or damage modifier.
Damage modifier, sorry.
No, I do not.
So it'd be 9 points of damage to its. Where was it to?
Left arm.
Left arm.
Left arm. Okay, so you swing your axe, and it hits its left arm, its shield arm yet again, and it tries to get its shield up, and you actually take your double-headed battle axe and you actually slice through its flimsy shield and actually sever its whole arm off, and its whole bone arm just like flops to the ground. I need to roll this.
I want to let out a deep gutted roar, just
And as you follow through with it, you actually go through. You miss the ribs, but you actually hit the spine as well, and you hit it as well, and the skeleton just crumbles in a pile of bones to the floor.
Perfect.
And
I couldn't be any more turned on right now.
yeah. Can I just say, please do not stand up or anything like that on my stream. Thank you. Right. Briggs, you're up.
Okay, so loading last round. He's gonna fire this round.
Yeah, cool.
That's one. Still nervous. He's scared. He's shaking everywhere.
Yeah.
He misses. Yeah.
Cool. And Ica goes for a hit.
Oh, knock that off.
And oh, so close, Ica. Can you see
Luck
Ica?
point, Ica. Luck point. I mean, what?
Actually, if you wanted to use a luck point, she has 3 of them.
What do we think, guys? Yes? Yeah? Go
Definitely,
for it. She's got 3. Go for it.
You wanted to use one?
Oh, I would say no.
I think
She's got 3.
way.
Get the strike and move out of combat.
Do you wanted to use a luck point to hit?
Yeah, I would say because
Yeah.
she's injured. She needs to knock this guy out, or else she's gonna get hit more.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
I'm in agreement.
she will actually hit, and the guy will try to parry it. She does hit, and he parries her hit with its mace. So that's that, and we're up to turn 2. My Trollkin 1 is out, so he can't go. Gully, you're up.
Okay, can I leave my the smoke round its leg and just do damage again, or do I need to roll
It's up
another
to you.
hit location?
It's up to you.
Okay, I'll leave it round its neck, and I'll just sort of like
Is it round its neck or leg?
leg,
Yeah.
and I'll just sort of like push out my hand more as if I'm putting more power through it,
Cool. Do some damage. Nice.
and it crackles.
Max damage. And you sort of like cut, and it crackles, and Briggs, you just see this skeleton's leg go and a snap underneath it, and it falls prone onto the floor, and you sort of like see it sort of like trying desperately to sort of like move while it's still on the floor. Hengist, you're up.
Hengist, seeing that Ica hasn't responded, he's just going to delay his action again this turn, and he will attack anything that comes out of the coffin to his right.
Okay, Dominic, you're up.
Okay, I want to try something. So I don't know if this is gonna work. I don't know if this is something I can do, but you let me know. So I noticed that Briggs hasn't been firing because you said that he's been shaking, terrified, trembling kind of thing, right?
Yeah, because
Okay.
he's scared of the
So-
dark.
What I've seen is I have this skill called influence, and I don't know what it is, but this is what I was thinking. So I know, when I shoot with rifles, but I'm guessing with a bow, if you brace up against something, so if there's like a wall or something, you press it up against it and then use that as a support, it helps. So I want to see if I can stand kind of in front of Briggs just enough to where I'm kind of shielding him, holding up my axe, and he can brace his bow up against me and use me as the wall to fire. Hopefully I can influence him to shoot better, maybe give him some inspiration.
He's just a crap shot.
Okay. Okay. So
Hey, he killed 2 people in the last battle, and I was totally impressed. I know he's got it in him.
yeah. So influence is actually a skill for verbal interaction. So that's that one. But I see what you're trying to do. So what I'll say is that currently Briggs's actions are all hard, because he mentioned earlier how he was so worried about being down here. So I've upped his, instead of having a standard roll underground, he's actually hard. So, but due to you helping and being supportive next to him, as long as you divvy your action, so you still take up your action, then I'll say that Briggs's rolls are now standard. Okay,
Yep.
so
I'll use my turn to support him.
Yeah, cool. And Briggs, you're up.
Did I fight? I fired the last one round, didn't I?
Yes,
So-
you did. So
Oh,
this
crap.
is
You didn't
this-
do anything.
this
He
is a
can't do anything 'cause he missed.
this is a reload round. Yeah.
Hang on. I want to see 5, 6, 7.
Oh, I've got no hours left anyway.
I got 5.
Oh man.
Okay. And then so you're reloaded, and
Damn it.
Ica. It was a good idea though. I like it. I like it.
tried.
Ica takes a swing, and
I'm like helping him reload.
yeah, you're sort of like
Calm
you're
down,
sort of
you
like
can
sort of
pick it
like
up.
here. I'll hold your bow for you. You just pop it in. That's it. Now pull it back.
Yo.
Ica hits because the skeleton is prone, which means it goes to easy, and she actually hits. So she is going to do some damage to it. Oh, dog.
Sorry, muting myself.
18. So yeah, so she hits it in the left arm.
No, it hasn't got one.
Right, so we'll transfer it to the next location, which will be the head. And
Okay, it's got one of those.
yeah, and she whacks it for 4 points of damage, which actually takes off the head, and it sort of like stumbles to the ground. And and Dominic's still there with you, Briggs, going, "Go on, you can do it. Let me just hold this."
Briggs's hand is still shaking. He's like,
It like drops
really,
in front of
he's-
us. I just turn to him. I'm like, "You did good.
Yeah, you it took.
Look, you got him."
Fantastic. Now, remember now, Dominic, because combat has finished, your spell has gone.
Yep.
Okay. So
And Gulliver's spell will drop as well. So the smoke just sort of like slowly starts to dissipate, and then it's just gone.
yeah,
And Gully put his the little disc back into his inside tunic.
excellent. So I think that'll be a good time, guys, to take a break before anything else happens. So people are watching the stream. Sorry if I haven't been interacting. When I'm DMing, everything goes on to DMing. But I'll just grab myself. I know. I'm sorry. I feel that I've let everyone down.
Let me down.
I always let you down very gently. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to put some music on, and we're going to have a 10-minute break. So if you would like to go off and get yourself a drink, or get yourself a drink, have a bio break, and we will be back in I don't know what
10.
I don't know what I'm even doing here.
No, just go now. Honestly,
I'm just
go. You've used up 2 minutes of you by showing your hands.
I'm just going to quietly walk out. We'll be back in
pretend that nobody's noticed.
I'll be back in 10 minutes, guys. Don't go away.
Yeah.
Well, do go away. I'll come back.
Bye.
Chugs, before you go,